Welcome to Dakota Preparedness. In this video, I'm going to present 14 books that can be the core of your long-term emergency preparedness reference library. Now, I'm finding that there's a tremendous demand for basic information about emergency preparedness. And your reference library can be far more than simply a reference database that you access when you don't know the answer to a question. It certainly can be that, but also if ahead of the emergency you closely review the books or even read them, it can become an actual skill that you can readily rely on without any access to the book. But certainly books have a very advantageous advantage. If the internet is down or the grid is down, you don't need a battery to read them. You can go 1900 and read a book. So I have 5 major categories. Now keep in mind, you may be able to find some of these books at a library and have them at no cost. But with each book, I provide the cost that you currently can obtain the book from Amazon. Well, the first category is a general emergency preparedness, and the first book that I would like to suggest is Prepared for Anything Survival Manual, presented by Outdoor Life. Now, the author of this book, I've actually taken a hands-on wild edibles class from prior to his publication of the book, and he is great in person, and his book is just fantastic. So for an overall view of emergency preparedness, what gear and skills you need with detailed descriptions, this is an excellent book. The second one for general preparedness is the Boy Scout Fieldbook. Is not the Field Handbook. The Fieldbook is about bushcraft, and I suggest you get a Fieldbook from the 1960s. Because that was kind of the pinnacle of the book, in my opinion, although a later edition would certainly be helpful. The second major category is that of security. Now, there are lots of YouTube channels on this, from former Special Forces, Green Berets, Navy SEALs, but this is hands down the best book. It's called Contact, a Tactical Manual for Post-Collapse Survival. And the author's pen name is Max Velocity. He's an ex-British soldier and an ex-American soldier. Get the book to figure that one out. But he takes the perspective not from a platoon, company, battalion operation, but you are a prepper, if you will, and you have a family. It's just an excellent book, and I strongly recommend it. As my father used to say, and he was a man you should listen to in such matters. He fought with the 3rd Infantry Division in World War II, and he was in 300 gunfights, and one of his favorite sayings was, "It's the man that wins the gunfight, not the gun." And the book Contact is more about how the tactics and thinking process and strategy, more than just how to operate your firearm, which is an essential skill that you must have. So once again, I can't strongly recommend this book too much. The third category is that of homesteading knowledge. If you're into long-term emergency preparedness, you're going to have a substantial food storage. And so one book that would be excellent to have on hand so that you don't prevent appetite fatigue is a book called Cookin with Home Storage by Peggy Layton. Now this is a classic in the community, but I would submit to you it is just chock full of good ideas and recipes that you can take your food storage and make into delicious meals. The next book is also a classic in the community, Back to Basics, How to Learn and Enjoy Traditional American Skills. This will give you an outline to gardening and many other homesteading skills. And then finally, another book in this category that I personally found that I needed after an actual physical incident where I had to go to the internet and look up how you butcher an animal, not field dress. I knew how to field dress from my days in South Dakota as a deer hunter. But I strongly recommend The Ultimate Guide to Home Butchering, how to prepare any animal or bird for the table or freezer. And you can find this at Farm and Tractor and certainly on Amazon. Now the fifth category, which contains 5 books, is that of Emergency Preparedness First Aid. Now, if you can access the normal emergency room, hospital, walk-in clinic that we all know so well, I strongly suggest you do. Modern medicine is amazing. But these books I'm suggesting if that is not readily accessible. So the first book is called The Survival Medicine Handbook, the essential guide for when their help is not on the way, by Joseph Alton, who's a medical doctor, and Amy Alton, who's a nurse practitioner. This book is a classic in the community, and I strongly suggest it to you. I've read it not once but twice from cover to cover. Another book is called The Prepper's Medical Handbook, how to provide medical care when you can't rely on anyone but yourself. And this is by William W. Forgy, MD. Now, he has been long known in the wilderness medical community, but he's also a prepper, and this is an excellent book, and it's designed so you can quickly find a section concerning the subject matter that you need some expertise and some guidance on. Another book that you will find absolutely invaluable is the Apocalyptic Pharmacy, a prescription to avoid disaster. And the author of this book is a pharmacist, and he talks about antibiotics, he talks about how to store medicines, he talks about over-the-counter medicines, and I was really surprised at the price of this, $9 on Amazon. Page for page, this is one of the best values out there, and it's in an area that a lot of people don't have any formal training. I strongly suggest this book. Another one that is well known within the preparedness community is the book Where There Is No Doctor, Village Healthcare Handbook. And this is another example of a book that can be found for free as a PDF on the internet, but you can also obtain it at Amazon. And it's just a good book on health and hygiene for not only an individual and a family, but a community. There are also some companion books to this, Where There Is No Dentist and Where There Is No Psychiatrist. And those are actually also excellent books, and I have them. But, you know, I was kind of self-imposed that I was going to keep this to 14 books. This is one that I would highly recommend. It's important that if you're going to do some serious first aid, that you understand the anatomy and physiology of the body. And so Barron's Essential Atlas of Physiology is an excellent book for this. And it is full of very detailed and colored diagrams so that you can understand the human body. Another first aid and home remedy book is the Doctor's Book of Home Remedies. This is a classic and still is very applicable. It allows you to quickly look up many possible issues with health and have a home solution for it. The next category is that of nuclear war. Now, sadly, this could become a reality. On a seemingly daily basis, we have Putin threatening to set Europe and the world on fire with a demonstration of a nuclear weapon. We have Kim Jong-un from North Korea on a weekly basis promising to burn America down. And we have Xi Jinping in China seriously considering invading of Taiwan, which would surely result in a World War III. So here's 2 great books for the subject. One is called Nuclear War Survival Skills, Life-Saving Nuclear Facts and Self-Help Instructions. This is a classic in the community. And if you look on the internet, you can find a PDF file for free, but you can also go to Amazon and buy a hard copy. Now, a fairly rare book, but still available on Amazon, is Survive the Coming Nuclear War, How to Do It, by Ronald S. Cruitt and Robert L. Cruitt, MD. Now, this is a father-son team, and the father is an MD and provides tremendous detail. And the son, Ronald, I attribute to him that the book reads incredibly well. He's a professional journalist, and it just reads extremely well. This is a great book. I highly recommend you get it on Amazon and obtain a copy. So we've covered a lot of material here, 14 different books. Now, I strongly suggest, as your budget permits, to obtain each book in the order that you feel that your biggest need is, and have these books on hand, offline, where you don't need a battery to run it, so that you can readily access the knowledge and transfer it into a working skill. If you found this video helpful, please click like and subscribe. It helps the channel and it helps the community. Be prepared.